This indicator is awesome. Here it gave a breakout signal, and then here it gave a retest signal, so we could enter a trade here, stop loss here, and profit target here. This indicator is the best. Just make sure you watch this video until the end, and let's get started. Before I add the indicator, if you like my contents, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Also make sure you follow me on X, where I post educational tips and tricks and chart analysis. Alright, let's add the indicator. Here we click on indicators and we search high volume pivot, support and resistance zones. This one, which is a new indicator from Big Beluga. Alright, this is the indicator, and as you can see, some zones, labels and different types of signals are added to the chart. I will completely explain every detail and teach you how you can trade based on this indicator, so make sure you watch this video until the end. This indicator identifies support and resistance zones, and then it provides different types of information and signals based on the identified levels. But please pay attention that this is not just an ordinary support and resistance indicator. Unlike other indicators that just draw support and resistance lines based on pivot points, this indicator, for every swing high and swing low that forms on the chart, it tracks the volume of those swing highs and swing lows, and when the indicator identifies a high volume pivot, then it creates a dynamic box on the price chart. The tracked amount of volume is also shown here on the left side of the box. So the indicator shows a support or resistance zone only when the amount of volume for the pivot point is high. If we go to the settings of the indicator, here in this part, you can see that we have settings for volume validation. We have volume moving average length, which is set at 20 by default, and here we have a threshold multiplier, which is set at 1.2. So a support or resistance zone is plotted on the price chart only when the pivot volume exceeds the baseline multiplier. So by the help of this method, the indicator filters the weak movement of the market and instead focuses only on high volume movements of the market. That increases the chance of catching the institutional movement of the market. But this is not all, and the indicator provides much more information. It gives retest signals of the zone, it gives breakout signals, and it also gives retest signals of the breakout levels. It also provides information about cumulative volume delta, which can help you with confirmation of trade entries, support and resistance zones. The blue zones are resistance zones and the orange zones are support zones. When a zone is not broken yet, the border of the box is in the form of a solid line, and when a zone is broken, the border of the box is in the form of a dotted line. This will help you visually find out if a level is not broken yet or it is already broken. Alright, one of the signals that the indicator provides is retest of the identified zones, and you can see that whenever the price reaches to the identified zones, the indicator shows signals by the help of these circles. For example, here you can see that we have a resistance zone, and whenever the price tested this zone, the indicator showed a blue signal, which is a bearish signal. So in practice, they could provide us an opportunity to enter a short position. Another example here, you can see that the indicator identified a support level, but if you remember, I said support zones are shown by orange color. But please pay attention that this support level is broken here, and because of this, the indicator changed the color to blue. As you know, a broken support level changes role and becomes a resistance level, and the excellent feature of this indicator is that it automatically changes the color when a level is broken. For this support zone, you can see that the price tested this zone 3 times, and the indicator showed these orange circles, which are actually bullish signals. So in practice, they could provide us an opportunity to enter a long position. Alright, the next type of signal is breakout signal. As you can see here, this support zone that the indicator identified here, it was broken at this point. You can see that this candle is closed below the zone. And when this happened, the indicator showed a breakout signal by the help of this blue triangle. And here it also shows a label that shows a support breakdown, meaning that for this support zone, we had a downside breakout. In the case of an upside breakout, the signal is shown by the help of an orange triangle. Another excellent feature of this indicator is that it shows retest signal after the breakout, and it is shown by the help of a diamond. A blue diamond is bearish signal and orange diamond is a a bullish signal. In this case, we had a downside breakout, which means the price broke below the support zone. And after that, you can see that we had retests of the broken zone. So here we had retests of the broken zone and then dropping of the price. And the indicator showed this retest signal here when this candle was closed. And in practice, it could provide us an opportunity to enter a short position here. Alright, here you can see that the indicator identified a potential support zone. And here we got another blue diamond, which is retest of the broken zone. The price turned down again, and here the indicator identified another potential support zone. But this support zone was broken here, as you can see. This candle is closed below this identified support zone. So the color of the zone changed to blue because from now it changes role and it can act as a potential resistance zone. You can see that in this case, the indicator showed the breakout signal. We had a blue triangle and also a label that we had a breakout below the support zone. And after that, we got a blue diamond, which is a signal for retest of the broken zone. So in practice, we could enter a short position here with the stop loss above the zone. Alright, moving on the chart, and let me explain another feature of this indicator, which is Cumulative Volume Delta. This indicator for the current support and resistance zones inside the box, it shows trend line for the cumulative volume delta. And this feature can help you track buying and selling pressure in real time to exactly know when the market is more probable to reverse up or down. This indicator calculates the volume delta, which is actually buying volume minus selling volume, and then it normalizes them and then plots them directly inside the identified support and resistance zone. And this helps you to have trend of cumulative volume delta exactly inside the box. The current amount of cumulative volume delta is also shown here beside of the identified support and resistance zones. Alright, now you may ask how this trend line of cumulative volume delta can help you in trading. When the price reaches to this resistance zone, and let's say we have a retest signal, which means we have an opportunity to enter a short position, that short position is more confirmed and will have higher probability if this internal CVD line is sloping down, because it tells us that sellers are absorbing the buy orders. So the setup would be a high probability short position. On the other hand, let's say the price reaches this support zone, and let's say we have a retest signal here, which means we have an opportunity to enter a long position. This long position is more confirmed with higher probability if for this trend line of cumulative volume delta, the line is sloping up because it shows higher buying pressure in the market. So the setup would be a high probability long position setup. This indicator is one of the best support and resistance indicator I've ever seen on TradingView because it only shows high volume support and resistance zones, and besides that, it also perfectly shows retest signals, breakout signals, retest of broken zones, and also trend line of cumulative volume delta directly inside the identified support and resistance zones. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new videos. See you guys in next video, and good luck with your trading.